Hi, this is Bill Wood with Disciplined Trading Decisions. Time for the weekend update for the crude oil futures market. But first, trading futures, options on futures, and retail off-exchange foreign currency transactions involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Welcome to the weekend update for September the 12th, 2016. We're covering the crude oil market. So let's take a look at the monthly chart. Okay, first thing we look at is the trend. The trend, we have lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. Now this kind of broke above this, but we're not going to count that until we break this high. So as of right now, we're in a downtrend, lower highs and lower lows. We are in a 4 or 5 month balance here. As far as location, we are riding this line down here of this Andrews pitchfork. On the weekly, we are in an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, and this is consolidating here. The location, we just bounced off of this median line here. You could either say that we're in a 2-week balance or that we're in a several week balance here. Again, it looks like we're in breakout mode. Whichever way it breaks out of here, it may get some legs. If this was an ABC, it could make it all the way up to here, around 64.60. On the daily, we're really in a range. We're not in a trend. We peaked above this Andrews pitchfork and we've come back down into this range. We were one time framing higher. We haven't stopped one time framing higher yet. On the 4-hour chart, this is just a big mess. You could say, again, we're consolidating here. We've left excess up here. This may be a supply zone right here. This may be a demand zone. We are approaching the edge of this Andrews pitchfork. So this was a strong move down, suspecting that you may get a pullback somewhere in this area. As you look closer, you can see that this is a low volume area right here, low volume node. So this was a previous high volume node and now it's a low volume node. So this is an area of interest. So I would be careful if you're short down here. The Stoke is getting low. This really hasn't had a chance to rest. On the 30-minute chart, you can see that this Andrews pitchfork, it's touched it once, twice. Whether or not it'll get all the way down here before it pulls back, I don't know. It has run into the 200 period moving average. You see that was respected before. Stoke is very low. On the market profile, you can see this is where we opened. We tested higher, could not fill in these single prints. That usually tells you that the market is weak, and it spent the rest of the day going lower. Now, this is where the fairest price to do business was, around 46.38. And so everybody who has sold down here has sold at poor prices. You could see this on the other charts, but value was moving higher. It has pulled back and now it's moving higher again. Or another way to look at this is that value is moving lower and now this is a pullback. I tend to believe that second scenario. We left excess up here. We left single prints up here. I think the short term, we're heading back down to maybe this 44.40 area where it looks like either here where it looks like there was a couple of high volume nodes, or in here where there was very little trading. So as far as structure, does anything need to be repaired? Well, you have these single prints up here and you have this gap down here. Those are the two immediate things that I see. I think it's much more likely to fill this gap than it is to fill in these single prints. So come Monday, what are our scenarios? Number one is it could open above today's range or Friday's range. I think that that is the least likely. We do have some balance in here. Probably the most likely is that we would open up in range, in value, and go back and forth through the day and balance here. That's in general, that's the most likely. If we open down here, I would say that that's the second most likely scenario. So again, if we open down here or in the lower part of this range, then it's very likely that we'll head back to the point of control, because everyone who sold in here sold at poor prices. If we open up down here, I think it's very likely that we would fill the gap first. If we open down here, it may come up to fill this gap and go lower, but in general, I think prices are heading lower. So scenario number one, it opens up here. If it does, I would suspect that it would test down first. I think that's the least likely. Another scenario is that it would open below here. Again, I think that it would test up before heading lower. We do have a balance down here. Sometimes when the market moves like this, it'll pick a point, maybe a point like this, and it'll balance around that the whole day. If you look at this 30-minute chart, you see we have a volume cluster here and a volume cluster here. We were up in this area. We came down, made another cluster down here. Now we tested back up into this one, and we're at a very important juncture. We're at a low volume node here, and we're going to see if the market can stay in this area. If so, it's likely to head higher or break through. So real quick, has the market had a chance to rest? Yes, it's resting right now. This was a pretty sharp move down. The ES has moved down very sharply, so we could get a retracement. We have a high volume node here, which often acts as a magnet. High volume node down here. So we're in between those two now, and you could see it bouncing between the two. Are the participants long or short? Again, they're probably balanced, maybe a little short today on the very short time frame. Is it late? It's not really a trend going on. We're right smack dab in the middle. Where are the stops? Well, the stops are up here, and of course down here, there's not really a place to run to the stops. Maybe below this line, you could grab some stops, and maybe above here, you could grab some stops. Who's hurting right now? Right now, the longs are hurting. This was a pretty big pullback. So will the open change anything? If it opens from here on down, I would say that it wouldn't really change anything, that we're going to stay down here and balance for a while. If it opens above here, I would say that would change things. I'm thinking that the market is going lower into this range, and if it opens up here, then I think a lot of people are wrong. Now imagine, people were pushing this market up, they took profit, and so who would be pushing the market up here? That would be the least likely, and therefore that would cause the most havoc. So the important levels that I'm watching is this low here, this trend line here. You notice that this low coincides with the low volume node. This high volume node here, and then this high volume node down here. If we get above here, look out shorts. Well, that's what I have for today. This is Bill Wood, and if you're watching this anywhere other than my blog at Disciplined Trading Decisions, please go there now and check out our other resources. And while you're there, why not sign up for our weekly newsletter? And this is just a reminder to trade according to your trade plan. Don't do what I do. You have to believe in your analysis of the market in order to stay disciplined and true to your plan. Hey, I really appreciate your likes, your comments, and your shares. It all helps to get the word out. And remember, stay motivated, stay focused, and stay disciplined, my friend.